We touched upon this earlier, but you were saying that one Bitcoin is worth more than 1 ounce of gold at the moment. Do you feel that Bitcoin is more valuable than gold going forward?
Value is there's price and there's value. Valuation on gold is intrinsic. So gold has a lot of things that are really unique, and its valuation, its sense of value has held for thousands of years, over 3,000 years, probably 13,000 years if you go back to Egyptian times. So it has unique properties of industrial use, both silver and gold. Gold is so expensive it doesn't get used industrially, so it's largely store value, but they have real unique properties. They don't erode. It's not like salt, which was at one point deemed very valuable. It's not even like diamonds. Diamonds, there's plenty of them around, the truth be told. So gold has rarity. It has, fungibility, etc., etc. So these other elements don't have the history of gold, of acceptance. It is just a new fiat system. So I don't want to over-cultivate everything is awesome, it's crypto. It is a man-based fiat system. It's based on a faith that people are prepared to accept it, and that the original constitution of what was said would be agreed, and the blockchain and the ledger and all of these things are robust and will stand. So it relies on a lot of things being the case and not moving. America had a constitution as well once, but they haven't stuck to it very much, and they put lots of laws and things that overlap and challenge that. So like anything man-made, the phrase I sometimes use, it's a bit like virginity. Once you start tampering with it, it gets a whole bunch easier the second and third time. And I think with the constitutions and all of these forking, we will see the human effect of tampering in due course. And you have to continually monitor that. So in other words, we have to be vigilant against human nature doing what it does, and control structures always seeking to control and to have a tax base, and that's never going to end.
So are there any similarities between gold and Bitcoin?
Well, at the moment, I would say neither have debt associated with them, unlike currencies. They are being accepted in exchange for transactions, both of them. So they will have a transactional value, so they both retain that. Currently, because of how Bitcoin has performed, it's been perceived both as an investment and a store of value, which gold is also perceived, although it's been far less spectacular in the last 4 or 5 years in comparison to what Bitcoin has done over the same time. But they both have that store of value and that transactional element. Bear in mind, grid down, electricity down, mobile phone network down, internet down, no crypto. Gold is gold. So in terms of the real base extreme events, gold is something you hold. But then you have the storage and the security issue of it. You need to guard it. Online, you have online security issues, but you don't have the storage problem. It doesn't take space. It's binary digits. So those are where some of the differences start to creep in. And of course, it's a lot younger in terms of being tested, the faith in it being tested.
What reasons do you think people have to choose cryptos as a safe haven for their investment instead of traditional assets? Why would you choose to invest in that?
It would be a very interesting case study to play out what may happen if we have a similar 2007-8 event and we go into full-blown fear. The expectation, I think, on probabilities and historical evidence would be that they would go back to the printing pumps and cutting back rates down, although the base from which to cut from is far lower, so there's less wiggle room, and the quantitative easing policies would be back in with great fervour, and even still, they don't have the scope to pump in the amount of resources they pumped in the first time round. Also, I think we're more immune. It's kind of that heroin addict thing. Each time you're getting more and more, it takes more just to get to feel normal. You have to take an obscene amount. What used to make you high now just to make you feel okay enough to get through a day. And I think we have that diminishing return of money. Each debt that is created only generates a fraction of a dollar's GDP now, where before you had a multiplier effect. So we're getting ever more numbed. So what would happen in the real world economy, if we separate the crypto as an ether world, would there be flight capital getting out of? Because typically when you deflate currency, people get into cash. So property prices drop, all sorts of assets that are being supported by financial engineering fall. And that would be a deflationary environment. So your house is worth less, your salaries don't go up, they could even go down, you are expected to do more for less, or certainly work long hours for the same, so by hour you're being paid less. What would typically happen is cash actually is the thing to hold. Now that cash, if it's in a measure that is being devalued because it's being proliferated, the dollar actually went really strong during 2007 and 8 because it was a fear. Could the cryptos become a fear bolt hole, or will they be part of that which deflates away? Depending on how much practical proliferation of use for the Bitcoin for everyday expense, as we get more into that, it could be the safe haven. But initially, it could sell off. And people then suddenly need money back. They could be selling off their cryptos. But I think given the amount of investment and the institutional and the longer term money that's in there, I think longer run it might be get some safe haven status. And that will be the real making of the crypto realm on a bigger scale, when actually it serves as a bolt hole from the fiat realm.